So today, my topic would be about the power of a dream, and the steps that I took to attain that power, or rather to attain that dream, the steps and the path that I followed. So picture this. Growing up, how did I manage to get to where I am currently? Growing up, picture a little boy, very skinny, thin as a rake, desperate need of a haircut, carrying 3 ShopRite carrier bags, and moving between parents because they separated. Going from one parent to the other parent, from one week to the next week, and the following week to the grandmother. And that's how I grew up. And on that path, I experienced many things. Growing up, I can recall one day, sitting on the train station with my mother as we were waiting the train to once again move to some caregiver that I'm going to be going to, experiencing a weekend with my mother not having anything to eat for the entire weekend, no food, eating dry bread for the entire weekend. And here comes Sunday, you're sitting on a train station and there's a couple of kids on the one side and they're enjoying themselves with ice cream. I'm sitting there and I'm watching them and my mouth is drooling. And one of the kids decided he's going to go throw the ice cream in the bin, and my mom gets up and she goes towards him and she said, "No, don't throw it in the bin, give it here." And she wipes it off, she licks it nicely. She comes and she gives it to me. And I'm so excited and so happy. So that was my socioeconomic conditions in which I found myself. Living with my grandmother, I saw that it was many a times my granny couldn't move, she couldn't walk for that matter. The arthritis at night, she would cry and scream because of the excruciating pain which she had to endure. So not much in the form of help and assistance, being exposed to something like that, growing up like that, in that condition, not having much as you grow up. But what stirred me, what was the impetus towards me realizing my dream? I was 13 going on 14, and it was the dawn of a new democratic dispensation within South Africa, the advent of a constitutional democracy, and the end of institutionalized apartheid at that time. And during this period of time, everyone was had civic mindedness, everyone was politically motivated and inspired. And obviously, when you grow up in the dusty townships, your parents try to do everything that they can to avoid you getting involved with the elements. And I think my story is no different from many of a child growing up on the Cape Flats. I can't say that my story is unique to any one of them. My story represents the voice of the collective of children growing up in places like Mitchell's Plain and the rest. And mine is none the different than theirs. So what happened? Obviously your parents want to keep you away from the elements. And this is what my mother did. I was forced to spend my time in the home, and to cut quite a lengthy story a bit shorter, what happened was that I turned towards books. Books became my friends. That became my avenue. And here I witnessed the dawn of the Nelson Mandelas and all these struggle icons and all these political figures of that time. And what is it that they were doing? They were fighting for human rights. They were fighting for the right for integrity, for honor, for dignity. This is what they were fighting for. And this is what inspired me. And vicariously I shared the experiences through the pages of their biographies and the autobiographies that they penned. And I read those books, read the books of the struggle icons. I would read the books of ideologies to find out, is it the ideology that stands in the way of people's beliefs? And that took me to read up on Jean-Paul Sartre, read the works of, looking at Picasso, at the artworks, and trying to find some solution to the turmoil that our country and the world was experiencing. And that inspired me to wanting to become a public representative. So at the age of 13, going on 14, I realized that my goal and my ambition and my aim in life, it should be to become a public representative. I know there's another word for a public representative. It starts with a P. It's a bit of a swear word in Cape Town. No, not that one. It's called a politician. It's called that is the swear word. So at the age of 13, 14 years old, I already wanted to become a politician. That was my dream. I didn't know that it had the connotation that I see in this day and age. That is the actual connotation or the actual perception that people have about politicians. So I believe that each and every one of us, we have a dream placed in our heart. All of us have a dream. I'm not speaking about, the dream to win the lottery. That's merely to escape circumstances. What I'm speaking about is that it's a heartfelt dream. I'm talking about a vision that's deep inside, that speaks to the very soul of a person. That type of a dream. It's a thing that you and I, that we were born to do. It speaks about our God-given talents, our God-given gifts that we have. That is what it addresses. And it appeals to those highest ideals which we have. And what does it do? It sparks within us that feelings of destiny. This is what I am meant to do. This is what I should become. And this dream, it's inseparably, and it is inextricably linked and inseparable to our purpose in life. And this dream, it takes us and it starts us off on that success journey. So we need a dream. So how did it happen? What happens? What it taught me was, from 13, 14 years old, up until now, I'm 21 years old now. Anyway, over the 20 years, it took me from 13, 14 years old to reach my mid-30s now. It took me that amount of time to reach my dream. But what happened along the way? I've learned that a dream gives direction. That's what it does. Have you ever met a person that became, highly successful, and that person never had any ambition in life? Have you ever met someone like that? Become highly successful, but they didn't have any ambition or any aim in life? Neither have I. So, a dream, all need something worthwhile to aim for. We need something to aim for, and a dream provides exactly that. It provides that stepping stone. It acts as a compass, and it will tell us exactly and precisely what direction we should be pursuing. If you don't have an aim, if you don't identify that right direction, you'll never know for sure that your movement is actually towards progress. You'll be moving around, but you wouldn't know whether there's progress in your movement. So, what will happen as a result? You'll miss out on all the opportunities that was necessary for you to become successful. So definitely plot and plan as to what it is that you need to be doing in life as a dream. What I've also noticed along my path towards attaining my dream, alhamdulillah, I'm living my dream. It's amazing that I'm actually living my dream. I wish my mom was alive to see that I'm living my dream. She would never have imagined it. So a dream increases our potential. That's what I noticed. It increased my potential. Because without a dream, we struggle to see potential in ourselves because we don't look beyond our current circumstances. If I had to allow poverty to let me down, if I had to allow growing up in a broken home, if I had to allow those material conditions to dictate my status quo, where would I have been? So I did not allow that. Because of this dream, it allowed me to transcend the stifling conditions of my status quo. I went beyond it. But with a dream, we begin to see new light. It helps us to see different things. And as having greater potential, one see, and being capable to stretch and grow ourselves. Because what happened? As a shy, introverted person, turning to reading, I developed my love for civilization, for society, developed the love for people, to know people, to try to understand people. I developed that love within me. And in the process, I tried to read, not tried, but I read up on different people, different civilizations, different types of belief systems. I read about all these various types of philosophies about, what's the solar plexus and how it helps you, this Buddhism and all these things, in trying to understand and find out what is the solution. I know it's strange, but I try to find out what is the solution to save humanity. So, reading up on these various stories and these various books, what did it afford me? At school, I could read about, you could be called up for oral, and I could speak about, extensively, I could speak about the whole Russian structuralist, Murovsky's structuralist painting. And the teacher would be like, whoa, where do you find that? Where did you read that? So it exposes you to all these various, and it broadens your horizons and your perspective about many things in life. And that wasn't my intention. My intention wasn't to know what's a structuralist painting, or know what is Picasso's Cubism work, or know what is dialectical materialism of Karl Marx. That was not my intention. My intention and my dream was to know how can I help humanity and help society. But along the process, I stretched myself in trying to attain my dream. So in your process of trying to attain your dream, your potential and who you are, it stretches and it becomes bigger and bigger, the person who you are. There's a saying that goes, a blind man's world is bounded by the limits of his sight. Listen to the saying. It says a blind man is bounded by the limits of his sight. An ignorant man, his world is limited by his intelligence. And a man with his vision, or rather, a great man's world is bounded or it's limited by his vision. So what do we need to do? If your vision, if your dream is great, then so is your potential for success. So I have a great dream. Beyond that, what did a dream help me to do? It helped me to prioritize things. A dream, it gives us hope for the future. That's what it instilled in me. It provides that power within the present. Because you're now prioritizing everything that you do. I realized I don't have time to go stand on a corner with friends. It wasn't time for that. I needed to finish reading my book. I needed to complete with a certain project that I was busy with in my vision to understand people. So there was no time to stand on corners with friends. I didn't have that time. Time was too precious. I needed to know how to help humanity. So it prioritized everything that I did. And a person who has a dream, he knows what he is willing to give up in order to go up. He will measure everything according to whether or not, whether it contributes to his dream. Does it contribute to a dream? Does it not contribute to the dream? But ironically, what many of us do, we do the complete opposite. You have a person, what does he say? I want to keep my options open. And in that process of keeping the options open, he spent many of his energies focused on those options.
Just turn to the back of the
But what does a dream do? A dream allows you to focus and concentrate on that one thing and enhance it and become a master at it. But when your options are open, you're spending too many times your energy and your resources and everything that you have on all those various options. So importantly, concentrate and master that one dream that you have. It's very important. A dream adds value to work.
we didn't have 4G at that time.
That's what I realized. Because when I look at it, MC mentioned that, I was a laborer on the building site. I think many of us did that. Many of our, especially in our community, it's one of the things that you do. So it reminded me of a story. When a dream adds value to our work, a dream just puts everything into perspective. Just listen to the story very quickly. We had 3 laborers working on the building site. So the reporter comes along and the reporter asks the one, what are you doing? And he says, he grumbles, can't you see what I'm doing? I'm pouring cement. The next one he asks, what is it that you're doing? He says, I'm earning a paycheck. That's what I'm doing. The third one he approaches, and the third one is whistling and he's excited and he's happy. And what was his response? Just look how a dream brings value to the work that we do. Because even those menial, even those work that seems trivial or mediocre, but in the path, if it's going to attain your dream, you're going to be doing it. So what does the third one say? Laughing, happy. He says, I'm building a home for the homeless. That's what I'm doing. And he goes on and he wipes off his hand and he says, you see there, that's where the dormitory is going to be. Over there, that's where the kitchen is going to be. And that's where we're going to have the children that's going to be there. Excitedly. Because what has he done? He has bought into the dream. Each man doing the same job, but the third one was looking at the larger vision. The third one was looking towards the dream. The work he did, it was fulfilling a dream, and it added value to all his efforts. So you won't have those boring times where you tell your mom, I'm bored. I don't know what to do. It's so boring here. You hear that often. So you won't have stories like that. Sometimes what I used to do, I would have 3-4 books at the same time that I'll be reading simultaneously. And not perhaps finishing each and every one, but because there's so much excitement that I found in it that I thought, whoa, I'm attaining my dream. I'm finding out, how I can help people and what I can do for people. And lastly, a dream predicts our future, as Howard did mine. I became, at 13, 14 years old, wanting to become a public representative. Today, I am a public representative. So if you have a dream, don't think that you're not good enough for that dream. Don't think that you're not clever enough for that dream. Don't think that you're not too beautiful enough for that dream. You have skills, you have talents, you have many amazing things about you that you need, that talents and skills, it is there in order for you. It is your tools that you're going to be using to attain your dream. So when we have a dream, we're not just spectators and sitting back. We're not like passengers and just enjoying the view. No. And we just hope everything's going to turn out right. We're taking an active part in shaping the purpose and meanings of our life. So we don't go with the winds of change. Wherever change takes us, or wherever the wind blows us, that is where we end up. No. Our dream, when pursued, is the most likely predictor of our future. So, as we know, it doesn't mean that we have any guarantees, but it does increase our chances for success tremendously. And in conclusion, where will your dream take you? Dare to dream and act on that dream. Do it in spite of your circumstances. Do it in spite of the encumbrances, the impediments, the problems you perceive it to be. Do it and go for your dream. We know that history is filled with men and women who faced adversity and they achieved success in spite of it all. So finally, go for it. Go for your dream. Thank you.
So, Mr. Cassiem, generally I don't believe politicians. So I have this general thing where I don't believe them. There's only one part where I don't believe you at all. And that is that you have a fear of speaking in front of an audience. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but that was excellent. Another round of applause.
Thank you.
So.